Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is the Victorian Literature Journey tag. Now, I know I'm a bit late in the game. We're no longer in Victober, but I wanted to do it. I was tagged to do this by its creator, Roz from Scully Dangling About the Books, and her lovely daughter Tilly. And I was also tagged to do it by one of my amazing people that I talk about a lot, Katie from Books and Things. Now, I'm literally going to blag this video completely because although I've written down the prompts, I've not planned the answers. Apart from one answer, which I will talk about when I get to the prompt. But I've not planned it. I'm just going to be about as real and unedited as I am a typical Emily. Now, I really do enjoy Victorian literature and I'm going to enjoy doing this. I hope you take it as I am, the fact that I don't edit, I don't cut or do anything like that. I am what it says on the tin. So hopefully I'll do this tag the justice that it deserves because it's a brilliant tag. I think Roz is an amazing person and someone I really look up to. So I will go ahead. Prompt number 1. What was your first experience in reading Victorian literature and how was it? Now, I am obviously on the older side of the generation of BookTube. I'm 44 and I knew about Victorian literature because I think obviously I had the poems read to me by my nan. I'll go into a bit of that journey in a bit. And I knew about the Brontes because I grew up with them. My first and probably my only Victorian book that I remember reading when I was at school was Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. That is the book that out of all of the books I remember from school, really. I remember a few other books that I did in like my GCSE and stuff. But I don't remember very many books from school. Too old. But I remember loving Wuthering Heights and I remember loving the darkness of it. I loved the moors. We, as a family, went to Yorkshire when we were children. It's one of our holidays. We normally went down south, but we only went to Yorkshire, I think, once or twice. And I remember loving the wild moors. I loved the countryside. We went and stayed in this big old house in Yorkshire, and I believe it's right near where the Brontes were from. And I remember loving it. I loved the wildness of the moors. I loved the independence. I loved being outside, and I think that was, to me, was what is that empatheticness of Wuthering Heights and the Brontes and where they're from. And I remember loving that. I remember that was just the biggest thing growing up. That was one of my biggest memories. Don't tell there is a story. We had some fun. We were kids, and me and Charlie from Charlie Book Reads, we went for walks in the moors and Charlie got chased by a ram, and it's one of the stories that she always hates me for remembering. But yeah, it's just one of the happiest holidays. And I remember, like I said, Wuthering Heights was that was the thing. And when I got back into reading, in general, Charlie was obviously on BookTube first before me, and she got me into BookTube. And one of the first channels that I got to watching was Katie from Books and Things. So Victober was one of the first big BookTube events I got into. And I think I started on the Brontes and it went sort of from there. But yeah, Wuthering Heights was my first book. And I just loved it. And it's still my favourite book of all times. It really is. And I know it's a Marmite book, but it was my favourite book. And it's the one that I've read the most. So yeah, Wuthering Heights was my first one. Has the reading of Victorian books ever brought you to tears? And if so, tell us more. I think probably lots of books make me cry. I think Jane Eyre certainly did. Jane Eyre really did. It was one that broke me. And there is a scene in Jane Eyre. Don't listen to it. Well, I'll put my hand down when I'm spoiling talking about it. But there is a scene in Jane Eyre when she loses her best friend Helen to TB. And that shattered me. That shattered me into a million flipping pieces. And it broke me, and it was probably the one book that really did break me. It's the one that made me cry the most. Even though a lot of the Victorian books are sad, lots of the ones have bits in it that make me cry, because I do cry a lot in books. But yeah, that made me cry. I think The Secret Princess, Black Beauty, oh god, that was another one that killed me. Black Beauty really shattered me. That was my first middle grade one that made me cry, because I love animals and I love and When the Horse Goes. Oh my god, those are the two books that really have stuck in my memories, making me cry. So yeah. Number 3, are there any people who have played a significant role in your Victorian literature? So this is one that I can talk a bit more about. Obviously, my nan read us poetry growing up, and I remember reading a lot with my nan, and my nan being a really big influence on my Victorian journey. She was the one that really sort of started me loving books, loving poetry, loving things like that. My uncle talks about the fact that we had sort of family. But when I came back to Victorian literature, obviously Charlie from Charlie Book Reads, she sort of got me back into booktube, so she's had a big part in. And I think we started reading like Great Expectations and David Copperfield together. Definitely remember reading Great Expectations together. So Charlie's obviously had a part in every bit of my life. She's my best friend. I'm never upsetting her ever again. She's literally my bestie. But apart from my family, I would say Katie from Books and Things has had a big part. She got me talking about the Dickens. Kate Howe, she was one of my early friends, and she got me into, I think it was her that got me into Elizabeth Gaskell. They've certainly had a big part. Marissa from Blatantly Bookish has definitely had a bit. So the hosts of October in general have helped. Charlie from Charles Heathcote, he got me liking Wilkie Collins. I think he got me, and Chanty Trollope, I know we talked to about books. But they've all had big parts in my journey and showing me which way to go and where to help. I know that I love Wilkie Collins now, and I think Charlie was one of the ones that as I started, I know we read Arnidale together. I've read like The Women in White. I've got really, my Victorian journey has grown because of you guys, because of the recommendations I've made on Victorian, over Victober. But the Victober host, certainly, Katie probably is one of the biggest ones. She really has. Like when we went to London, she was able to tell me on Victory meetups which books to get and which, like, give me advice about who to sort of go to. And some of the Victorian authors she doesn't like, I don't tend to like. So yes, she is more into Dickens than I am. I've been very hit and miss with Dickens. I'm more of a Gaskell and the Brontes, but she certainly helped with the Brontes. Kate Howe helped with the Brontes, and I've really loved that passion and knowing where to go to. I watched, like, I forgot to comment on Kate Howe's video about the Wilkie Collins, her rankings of them, but it's shown me which way I'm going to look and which ones I'm not going to be rushing to get. So I've kind of got an idea of a book that I'm looking for in ABE books for next year, another Wilkie Collins, because he's just been a surprise for me. But yeah, those guys have had a really big part in knowing and showing me where to go and broadening my horizons. Like, I can't remember who recommended Lady Audley's Secret, but that was a massive hit for me. Elizabeth Gaskell is a new true favourite of mine, and that is because of the host. And thank you all so much. I never thought, and when I was having my slump this year, it was talking to like Roz and telling me which way do I go, how do I get back out loving my literature. So it's thanks to you guys. So thank you all so much. You're all incredible. Do you have a favourite film or TV adaptation of a Victorian book, and which one would you like to meet more? I don't watch very many adaptations. I'd love to watch the North and South one, because I know that's been wildly, but I need to know where to find it, because I don't really watch DVDs. I tend to watch Netflix, and yeah, Netflix is my go-to for films. But I will say my favourite has to be David Copperfield. David Copperfield is probably one of my absolute, even though I've only read it the once, it's probably one of my all-time favourite Victorian books, and I can't wait to reread it at some point. I'm not rereading it next year because I'm doing Great Expectations, but I loved the adaptation. I loved how different it was. I loved the different twists it put on it. It was absolutely incredible. The other one I liked, because you know me, I don't just give one answer. I love Jane Eyre. I loved it. I watched it from when we were doing the Jane Eyre read along. I watched Jane Eyre, and oh my god, it broke me to a million pieces. I talk about Jane Eyre a lot in this video. I'm starting to wonder if that's going to beat bloody Wuthering Heights at this rate as my favourite. But yeah, those two are the ones I definitely like. I would like to see Tenant of Wildfell Hall. I would like to see a really good film of North and South. And actually, one that's not going to be, that's not talked about a lot. I would love to see Lady Audley's Secret as a film, not as a TV adaptation or anything like that, a film, Lady Audley's Secret, because that had me gripped from start to finish. I did not get the twist. I flipping loved it. It would make a great, exciting, sensational film. I would love it. So I think that more than the more sort of popular classics, Lady Audley's Secret would be fantastic, and I would buy that like that. I'd want to have that. Now, this next one is going to make everyone laugh their heads off. Number 5. Which character in Victorian literature most resembles you or you most identify with? Now, I'm filming this on Monday the 6th, I think, of October. I went to my mum's house because my mum's still poorly. And the person who knows me the best in the world, Charlie from Charlie Book Reads, I said, which Victorian character? I'm no good at knowing myself, especially with everything at the moment. My head's all over the place. I said, which Victorian character do you think I most like? So she decided that we would do 2 quizzes. First quiz said I was Jane Eyre. Not going to go into that. It said both of us were Jane Eyre, and she's not. She's nowhere near. So we did another quiz. Catherine flipping Earnshaw. Wuthering Heights, all-time favourite book, so great on that. Apparently, I'm like Catherine Earnshaw. Me? Because I like the independence. I'm a bit selfish. I am a bit selfish. I hate it. I don't mean to be. I'm just a bit go off into my own daydream Emily world. Yes, so apparently I'm like Catherine Earnshaw because I like the wildness, I like my independence, I like to do my own thing. That is true. I must admit, I kind of can't beat myself up about that. I think that I don't mean to. I love other people. I would happily give everything up to it, but I'm a bit in my own world. I am, and I love going off to walks. I love being on my own. And I'm the biggest chatterbox going, but I do love going off on my own. I love going for walks on my own. I love my independence. I love to do stuff on my own. Because for someone with all my disabilities, to be told that I can't do something, I fucking go and do the opposite. And Mum says that about me. You tell me I can't do something, I'll fucking prove you wrong. So that definitely sounds like Catherine Earnshaw. I'm a rebellious. I am someone that breaks the flipping rules. I don't stick to stuff. I don't like people telling me what not to do. That's me. So apparently I'm Catherine Earnshaw. But let me know in the comments down below, who do you think I'm like? That is going to be the one. I'm not going to remember this. Catherine Earnshaw. Go on. Right. Number 6. Do you have a favourite Victorian moment, scene or line from a Victorian literature? Tell us about it or read it to us. There is one line. Charlie got me the jumper. It's a jumper I wear in so many Victober videos. And it's from Jane Eyre. I am no good at remembering lines. I'm flipping useless at it. But the line that gets me every time is, I am a bird and no net ensnares me. Like I said, I don't like to be ensnared. I don't like to be told what to do. That's why I flipping hated lockdown as well. I do not like being ensnared. I do not like being stuck in one place. I like to be free. That is me. 101%. But like a favourite moment, I don't know. There's no real favourite moments for Wuthering Heights because it's so fucking dark and depressing. There are scenes that I can remember, but yeah, I think that's for me still. And there are bits when like Jane Eyre gets her happy bit right at the ending. Yeah, so certain bits with Jane Eyre that she gets that. I kind of love that. I kind of love the endings of certain books that are just like the happy bits. Yeah, that's kind of me. I still like the happy endings bits. But they're the ones that really sort of stand out in my memory. I'm sorry. I've so not planned anything of this. Does any Victorian literature intimidate you? If so, what and why? Any book that's big scares the crap out of me. Because I like to read fast. I like to get into it. So a lot of Dickens books scare me. I tried the Dickens project this last year and it was a fuck. I mean, it's, pardon my French, it was the biggest boo-boo going because I tried to read the big ones. Big books intimidate me. I like books that I can get into. I like books that I can really like get lost in but don't take too long to read. I feel like I want to read everything all the quick and this is me. I'm a zippity zip and anything that's too big and too long scares the bejeebers out of me. Because I want to do everything quickly and I feel like I've never got enough hours in the day to do everything. So yeah, that's probably me, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Number 8, what tips would you give someone early on in their Victorian literature journey? I would say go listen to people, listen to advice from the booktubers that are experienced. Find a book that is kind of Victorian genre based. So if you like mystery and thrillers, go with a mystery and thriller Victorian classic. So go with like Wilkie Collins or Mary Elizabeth Braddon. If you like gentler books, go with some of the Elizabeth Gaskells. Don't go. There's some you do not go near Ruth. If you like dark and depressing books, the Brontes are really good. If you like short books, go for short stories. If you like big flipping chunky books, go for Anthony Trollope. You've got Thomas Hardy. Go with, again, he's got very right. If you like dark depressive, again, Tess is a really good. So find a book a classic that goes with the genres that you like, so that's most in alignment. But ask for advice. Ask people about what. Don't start with a massive one, because the massive ones will scare you and they will put you off. Do not go with the books that people have. And once you know what you like, it's okay to kind of go along that lines. And when you want to broaden, do, but don't push yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. And it's okay to not like what other people like. It really is. That's something like, just go with what makes you happy and read with what makes you happy and mood read it. And read at your own pace. Do not put yourself under pressure, because that is the biggest freaking boo-boo you can do. Put yourself under pressure and not enjoy the books because you've told yourself you've got to read them. I need to learn this. I really need to learn that. Don't push. If you're not enjoying a book, put it back. Put it to one side and go back to when you're ready. That's another big lesson I learned. Number 9, what is your top recommended read for other readers of Victorian literature? Again, I found this really, really hard, because there are so many incredible books out there, and so many books that I've loved that other people haven't, and so many books that other people have loved and I haven't. I will say probably one of the popular ones that I know about, and a good one, is The Tent of Walpole Hall by Anne Bronte. That is a one that a lot of people I know have loved. Similar, David Copperfield, if you don't ignore the fact that it's freaking mahoosive. That's another popular book. Great Expectations is probably the best Dickens I would go with. But again, you have to really go with what you're good at. If you want a mystery, go with down that lines. There's lots of people of booktubers that got videos out there about good recommendations. So look on the host channels. They've all had brilliant recommendations. But for me, probably 2 that I would recommend is going to be Tenant of Walpole Hall and Great Expectations, because that's my second. Great Expectations is my second favourite Dickens. But it's, as much as I would say, yeah, I love David Copperfield, go for David Copperfield, it is too big and it's not the best starting place. And I would love to tell you to go to Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre, because they're my 2 favourite books ever. They're literally my favourite books ever. But again, they have been real Marmite. I know Wuthering Heights put Alice off of reading Victorian books for ages, and I love Alice, so it can put people off. I know Charlie from Charles Heathcote hates Wuthering Heights. So that's not a good one to start, because it can kind of put you, it's like the most dark depressing book ever. But if you like dark depressing, yeah, start that. Just a lot of people wouldn't necessarily go with that. So I hope these recommendations have helped. I hope this video is not a complete bomb fluffy mess, because that's how I'm feeling at the moment. And it says the last ones to tag people, but all of my friends have been tagged, so I can't tag anyone. Actually, 2 of my friends haven't been tagged. I think these 2 haven't been tagged. Chatty from Mad Chatter, I don't know if you've been tagged. If you haven't, or I can't even remember if you've done it. I'm really so dappy. And then lastly, the lovely Angela from Reading Off My Shelf. Also, they're 2 channels that I want to shout out a little bit, because they're both absolutely bloody lovely. So I'm going to tag you 2. I hope that's okay. I hope it's only 2 people. But if you'd like to do it, do it. If you haven't done it, I can't remember if either of you have done it, because my brain's all over the place. But if not, I'm just shouting you out anyway. So I'm going to have loads of channels to link. I will link down below the people that I've mentioned in this video. I will link down below Roz's video with all the prompts, but you're going to be able to find the prompts on Katie's as well. So that's how I found it. Obviously, if you got to the end of this video, if there's an emoji of wars or darkness emoji, one of the dark emojis, that would be great. So like I said, the moors, or like a big country house. Actually, no, big country house. There you go. I've changed my mind. Big country house. Big Victorian house. That would be a good emoji. That or moors. There you go. I don't plan this. I told you I'm weird. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, subscribe it. Ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.